Hey, it's Tuesday, November 23rd, and I'm John Zidar. You're watching On Top and Hot, brought to you by Pennybois. Yeah, PB alerts, you know about them, but check out PBU. The Pennybois University teaches you how to trade. You won't need alerts. So what do I do here on Top and Hot? Well, I look at OTC and penny stocks. Normally we jump in there, do some DD, and find the stocks that we're moving today. Other times I bring you little packages all wrapped up. Like today. That's right. Today we're going to take a look at two companies. Both of them are shell companies. Neither one of them are making any money, any revenues. But they both got things in the works about to start. Now these are two totally different companies from each other, and would you believe neither one has anything to do with the metaverse? So let's jump in and see what I found. Now, as my habit is, I normally start my due diligence on any OTC stock on the OTCmarkets.com site. But this time, just because I am starting off on the website of Cyber Apps. Now, we're going to go straight down to what they say they are. It's always a good place to start. Cyber Apps acquires or develops innovative, scalable cyber technologies with the intention of spinning off these assets as separate subsidiaries that subsequently apply to become independent trading companies. They move up to the NASDAQ, get uplisted, get their own ticker. Boom! All Cyber App shareholders will directly receive shares in these subsidiaries that are proportioned to their own percentage interest in the stock. Well, that's called a dividend. It is normal procedure. I don't know why they make a big deal about it. However, it is a big deal when it happens. A company takes on a little company, builds it up, they incubate it, help it to grow. Once it's big enough to stand on its own 2 feet, they uplist it. When they do, they get a portion of that company's assets, and so do we as the investors. So they give us free shares in this company, whatever it turns out to be, depending on how many shares you have. And now you own shares in a whole nother company. Spin out, dividends, we love them. So the company right now is involved with 4 projects. They have 4 projects that they are currently working on. They are in pre-launch for all of them. One of them, Warp Speed Taxi, is on the verge right now of coming out. And they have another one called Smart Save Now, which they've had for quite a while, which I'm going to touch on to these, just tagging them right this moment. A third one called Price Value, which actually targets businesses more than the consumer. And the last one they have is called Friendly and Fast, which is their newest one and their big push. So let's take a look at these and I'll show you what we've got. Friendly and Fast is one of their primary pushes right now. It's the app that they've got out there, and they tell us that this is a delivery service. It's based on your smartphone. It's an app that you can just download and use, and it's targeting both the customers and businesses alike, which is a little interesting. They are going to provide services of delivering food, groceries, even a courier service. Now they say the app is fully developed and it is right now in the beta testing stage. They have selected Ahmedabad in India for a 3-month test. And once that test is completed, they plan on launching this in the USA in 2022. Now they tell us here that they are planning on initially targeting restaurants, which just makes sense. That's how Grubhub and Just Eat got their starts. Restaurants are very eager for delivery. And remember, you don't actually have to hire them as a employee and put them on the payroll. You just have them come and pick up your pizza and take it. And you just pay them whatever it costs. And I am sure they probably get some sort of rates with this sort of situation. Now they tell us that you can also use this, which, I've never thought of, but you can use it as a delivery service to send things to people. Your spouse, your friends, your colleagues. Maybe you got something here, you finished the work and you want it sent over there like a courier service, right? Maybe you want your mom to have some groceries and you can't get out to get them, but mom can't get out either. So you could have them bring the groceries. Lots of different ways that this could be used. And as I said, this can also be used as a courier. Companies may want to get paperwork from one company to another. Now in the cities, you're jumping on bicycles and going down streets and everything. But if you live miles and miles and miles from one city to another, but you got to have it there today, you may need a courier car to actually pick it up and drive it for you and get it there. So there's lots of applications. And this is working side by side with Warp Speed Taxi. If they're going to deliver goods and food and stuff like that, why not people, right? So they are working both of these together. They're going hand in hand, but they are separate divisions. Warp Speed Taxi is what they call this, and it is combining delivery of goods, courier, and people. So you all get the same vehicle for wherever you're going, whatever you're sending. Now they tell us that this is also being planned as a worldwide application, and after it is launched in the USA, they're going to spread it to these other countries as well. The next one they have is a little bit different. This is called Privacy and Value, and this basically got picked up because of what we've gone through with COVID. All these people who had to work at home, and now lots of them want to stay at home. Companies even want to keep a lot of their employees at home. The problem is it's tough to monitor what work is actually being done while they're at home, since you're paying them. And that's what this is. Privacy and Value is employee monitoring software. Track the working hours of individuals working with an organization without intruding on their privacy. With the help of this software, an organization can monitor the activities of the individuals during work hours. It will only record the desktop of the individuals from the moment they log in. The software generates daily activity reports of all individuals. It says here that the Privacy and Value does not access the camera and can only view the desktop, same as when working in an office. So it's just monitoring the computer. It says that for the cost of $1 to $3 a person, an organization will save thousands of dollars in office expenses and have increased their efficiency since they don't have to deal with it anymore. And while logged in, the software will monitor keystrokes and record the desktop. The activity report will also report long idle times. These analysis of transparent, factual, and accurate data will result in fair resolutions in any grievances. So this could come up as legal value, just having this sort of information available. And the last app is Smart Save Now. This is a price comparison website, a real-time price comparison website. Smart Save's Now mission statement is to provide the lowest real-time price on all consumer items offered for sale through their website. They say that their website will launch in the USA with over 25 million items and provide customers with real-time prices from websites like Walmart, Best Buy, eBay, Target, and others. In the USA, they intend to be approved by an additional 90 sellers, including Amazon, Nordstrom, and Home Depot. This is being devised for iOS, Android, and PC computers, for dinosaurs like me that still use PCs. After entering the US market, Smart Save Now intends to launch this in an additional 9 countries in the next 5 months. And these countries are going to be Canada, the UK, France, Germany, and Australia. They also intend to be approved by 500 sellers. That's going to open their market up to 645 million people. Now, this is a huge market. Price comparison websites, there's a lot of them out there. I'll grant you that. So, competition is tough. But the market last year, in 1 year, did $1.5 billion. That's a lot of money. Now, how do they make their money? In referral fees. Somebody comes to their site, they find a price comparison, whatever link they click has a referral number attached to it. So this company gets paid. Sometimes it's a percentage, sometimes it's a flat fee for anything that person buys because they came to that link. And normally those links are good for up to 30 days, even 6 months. So if the person comes back within the next 30 days or 6 months and buys something, you still get paid. So this is a huge market for them. So now we are over at the OTCmarkets.com, and this is the only site I truly trust when it comes to looking for filings or stock information, because it's the only site that FINRA and the SEC deposit that information for OTC stock investors. That's why this site is here. So I trust the information. Why go anywhere else? So we're looking at CYAP Cyber Apps World. They finished today at 0055, just over a half a penny. It's a really nice price. They finished today at 8.33% down. Not a great day, obviously. They are pink current. They have a transfer agent. I don't see a verified profile here. I don't know how concerning that really is. Now, what does the company do? Well, we already know that, but let's see if they have updated anything differently here. CyberApps World is a company that is dedicated to acquiring and developing a worldwide e-commerce internet platform with the purchase and sale of products and services by way of mobile computer applications worldwide. CyberApps World anticipates making available to subscribers an ever-growing list of applications and programs. So they've got 4 now. Who knows how many they're going to add to that? As many as they can find that are profitable, I'm sure. So what was their excitement level today? That is to say, what was the relative volume? How many shares they sell today compared to yesterday? Not much. No, they normally do 10 million. Today they only did 2 million. About 1/5 as many shares. Could be a buying opportunity. Let's see financials. They aren't making any money yet. I wish I'd quit doing that. So it says that too. 21, 20, 19, 18. They're not making any money. We know that. All of their products are at the end of development, at the end of getting what they need set up. And India is the first true launch. That is the beta launch. And when you come over here to disclosures, you see all these 8Ks. Well, 2 of these 8Ks from the 8th month of this year till now, you have 6 8Ks. 8Ks are material change. You report things that make a difference to the company. And 2 of them have to do with friendly and fast beta test. That test in India is being tested in a very highly populated area. I think that's redundant to say about India. And they are using sophisticated computer equipment with lots of information to see how well it works over there. The rest of these 8Ks are about finances, them getting loans and investors into the company. So everything is on the verge of starting. They're just about ready to get that key into motion, and we'll hear the engine turn over. What is this share count? We haven't looked at that. Well, I wish I could tell you it was 25 million, but I know that's not true. That number is from 2020. The share count right now, because they did a offering, they put more shares on the market, and they converted a bunch of warrants, which went into the common shares. A lot of them. 178 million shares now. As a matter of fact, there is news that we haven't looked at. You can find over on their site. They have had, I think, 3 lawsuits that they initiated. They have gone after people who have taken advantage of their situation with the company. And one of them they just resolved with, I think there's a piece of news here about it. Yes, East Capital Investments Corp. They were a company that sold their shares before they had a right to. They were in lockup and they got more money than they were supposed to, so they just had to pay back $2.8 million back to this company. Another company, EM Financials, they've got a suit with them for a lot of money, and one other one. And I think these lawsuits may have a lot to do with what was pulling the company down. A lot of companies have lawsuits where the shareholders will go get lawyers because they're upset the price fell or a promise wasn't kept that they thought was a promise. And most of those type of lawsuits just fall to the wayside and mean absolutely nothing. You normally have to have a $100,000 loss before they'll even talk to you. And how many people are investing $100,000 into a 2-cent stock, right? So these were different types of lawsuits, but they initiated them. It wasn't like they were being attacked. So I really don't understand it. And let me see, is there anything else here we can get? No. So let's go take a look at the chart and see what we can learn about this company and see where it sits right now. So the platform we're looking at is TOS, that's Think or Swim, and I got it for free. So can you. Just sign up for TD Ameritrade. That's free as well. They don't even ask for a deposit. You don't have to trade with them. The only criteria, keep your account open, and you can use Thinkorswim as long as you want. So we are looking at CYAP on a 6-month, 4-hour chart. She has had a tumble. Her high back here was 37 cents. Her low down here, 0045. And take note, it's never been lower. We are at the low right there. All of the SMAs are entwined right now on a flat line. The MACD is the same way. They're all smothering each other. And our RSI does have activity because it has had volume. And here are two particularly strange volume spikes. Let's zoom in on those. There we go. All right. So these correlate to news about the apps and just their intentions of what they were going to do with them. And we can see there was excitement, at least back then. There's not a whole lot of excitement right now. Now the 200 is flatlining now because the price is just meandering up and down over this, not giving it any opportunity to move. However, this jump here went from, well, let's just say it's a 400% jump in 6 days. It took a break right there in the center, so anybody who got out on this fall missed the biggest jump of all the next day, kicking themselves. But hey, they took profit. Nothing wrong with that. Then this bounce here was 100% gains in 2 days. So you can see with a little volume and a lot of volume, this stock does move. Now keep in mind they got nothing going on right now. It's all pre-launch and their first beta test. They don't plan on launching in the US until 2022. They've got nothing going yet. And when they do get business going, it's going to take time to create some revenues, generate a quarterly report, and then show us what they're making. So this is going to take some time. This is a good time to buy it at low, low prices, under a penny. Under half a penny right now. And I expect this to hit this line. What is that? That's the low. That's right. That is at 0045. It's never been below it before. Why would I expect it to go below it now? I expect that to be a strong mental block for all the investors. And when it hits this, I expect it to bounce. Now, how far will it bounce? It may just keep going, do like a rock skipping across water until it gets a catalyst. Any news presses about launching this app or that app into this country is going to make it bounce. And did you know with Warp Taxi, they pay their drivers 90% where Uber pays 25% of the fare? Do you think that maybe Warp Taxi will end up getting a bunch of Uber drivers? I mean, that's 3 times your income. Wow. So when all those things start to happen, that's when the stock will start to climb fast. But I expect the news presses, as you can see here, to cause it to bounce. So you could get some good jumps in short periods of time out of this stock. And if it turns out to really have the capability of cracking the markets the way we hope it can, this could pay off very well down the road. But you're going to have to wait. Buy now and accumulate. A little here, a little there. And by the time it takes off and reaches 10 cents, you've got yourself 10,000 shares, 100,000 shares. And by the time it hits 10 cents from here, you would have done 20 times your money. That's right. Every $100 bill will make you $2,000. Just food for thought. But remember, do your own DD. Don't invest in anything because I like it or I said anything about it. Invest in it because of what you see and you like. Now we're taking a look at SNPW, Sun Pacific Holding Corp. They finished the day at just under 3 cents, 0.0274, and had a killer day. And this was not a good day on the market, so this is impressive. 125% gains today. Some excitement over something. They are pink current with a verified profile and a verified transfer agent. That's all good. Now they tell us here that they are a green energy company and they specialize in solar and waste to energy technologies, which we're going to look at closer. They've got a few subsidiaries. 2 of them are ceasing. They don't use them anymore, but we are going to be seeing Smart Outdoor Core, Med Recycler, and National Mechanical. All 3 of these are doing something right now. They've been doing stuff, but now they're doing more of it in a different way. So what sort of relative volume was there today? Any excitement? Oh God, yes. Look at that. Just over 3 million normally and just under 180 million today. That is 60, 6 times 10, 60 times the normal volume. Lots of excitement around this stock today. What is her share count? Well, nobody getting excited about that. We got about 1 billion shares here. This is old. That's from 2018. I don't know why they won't update it. And I see the unrestricted is 933, the same as being held at the DTC. That's our float. Not exciting. Financials. Well, I know they're making money because I did look at their disclosures. They just had a 10Q come out here yesterday, as a matter of fact. Now, there's a lot in it, and I didn't actually read it all. I did read a bunch of it, and they were making money. They are in the green. They were doing better years ago, but they're doing a little over $250,000 right now. Not too bad, but they're on the verge of some big changes right now, and that is what we're going to go check out now in the news. Now, I like looking at the headlines of news. It's kind of like a cheat sheet. You don't have to dive in to see what's going on. Just glance through it. You pretty much got a snapshot of what the company's been up to. If the news is current. That's not current. All of this news is from 2019. What's interesting, though, is that they have not pivoted away from what they've been doing. They're still doing the same thing. They've just expanded. So they basically work with solar power, waste conversion, and advertising. And they're still doing that. Back here, they were talking about medical waste to energy project. They had one facility that converted, got rid of toxic medical waste. Now, they're still doing that, but they're not just doing medical waste. They're doing all sorts of toxic waste. And I'm going to show you more about that in just a minute. Street Smart Outdoor Advertising, they're still operating that. They were putting in solar-powered bus shelters back then. This is what they called their street furniture company. I don't know why they call it street furniture. Basically, it's advertising space that they put on bus shelters, bus benches, garbage cans, and they've got about 1,000 different signs out there right now, and they're putting out more. And this is how they make most of their revenues right now. They haven't got anything big going on. Now, they are in the green. They're not running in the red. They're not making a lot. They're spending a lot, but they are above board right now. So they need a change to make some bigger money. And what I found today is probably going to do it for them. This news is online. I don't know why it wasn't brought to the OTC market. This is imported here, and it came from Globe Newswire. It is a press release, so it should have been here. Sun Pacific Holdings Corp subsidiary, NMG, that's National Mechanic Group, the one that's working with the solar power, and Renewable Energy Engineers of Australia signed an agreement with Aspire for feedstock to develop 6 waste recovery plants in Australia to attract over $1 billion in investments. They tell us here that Sun Pacific Holdings announced that its wholly owned subsidiary had signed an agreement with Aspire to provide feedstock for the development of 6 waste recovery plants in Australia using revolutionary technology that will create no waste byproducts and virtually 0 emissions. These plants will be able to process up to 1,000 tons per day of the most toxic waste that generally ends up in landfills, such as tires, asbestos, mattresses, and plastics. Wow, we need this. We need this big time. Currently, the joint venture partners are well advanced in discussions with the various local government authorities for the location of the installations. The local government authorities have warmly received the intention to invest, as well as represent a significant boost to the local economies and job creation. The team is actively engaged in sourcing components and capital with the end goal of developing solar farms. However, the relationship has now expanded to solar farm projects, which will enable further developments as we're talking. They say that this will lead to over $1 billion in investment and the creations of thousands of jobs, with the most advanced technologies to be employed in Australia. 20% of the procurement is coming from the government spending, while 40% from corporations. Now is a good time to focus on the partnerships and the collaborations. So they've got a lot going on here. They have broken out with 6 of these toxic waste recovery plants in Australia. And they're not just putting them up for Australia, they're putting them up to showcase them to the rest of the world. We need this. We're trying to get the world down to zero emissions, clean up the mess. And we got a lot of piles, literal piles, physical piles of mess. You know how many tires I've seen in the junkyards every time I go, and there's still nothing to be done with them. Ta-da! We got an answer now. So who exactly is Aspire? Seems like a reasonable question to ask since that's who the deal has been made with. Well, basically they tell us here that Aspire is an online matchmaking tool using innovative software for material resource exchange that would otherwise be discarded by bringing different parties together to exchange value. This will reduce costs associated with waste disposal, earn money with a new revenue stream, and it saves on the CO2 emissions. So basically what you've got here is a dating app. That's right, you've got an app here which connects people with garbage to people who want that garbage. Yeah, some people want what you got. You may have some pallets, you may have some styrofoam, you may have something somebody wants. So rather than throw it away, you can make a deal and sell it to these guys for cheap. They get a deal, you get a deal, and it doesn't go into the landfill. And whatever can't be matched does go to the landfill. Well, not the landfill, but it goes to the waste facility and it goes through their process. So Aspire is very instrumental in bringing the waste to the company by sorting out what's waste and what isn't. So let's take a look at it. This is NPW on the charts. This is the 6-month 4-hour look. She had a high back here of about 9 cents and she's just over a penny right now. Has been falling, had a jump here, can't tell you why. There was no news, right? All we had was news from 2019 in one piece for today. So I have no clue what this is about or why it fell for that matter. I do see the hugest jump of volume this company has had in 6 months by a long shot. It is gargantuan and dwarfs everything else. And speaking of that, even the jump today in price is the biggest bounce I see here in 6 months. There has never been anything this big. If that tells you what is going on, everything is bigger than it's ever been. So let's come in on that. Let's look at the 20-day. All right, well, she was just meandering across, had a little rise, a little drop, and then started to fall. Hit a low bubble and didn't look like anything was going to save her until the news came out today. News behind the low bubble. Boy, you got to love that. And this thing took off, what, 125%. It finished the day. And it kept most of it, didn't it? It got up to, let's forget about the zero. It got up to 29, and it finished at 27.4. And it fell all the way down here to 20. So it lost about 50% of its gains and then came right back up. Looks really good, folks. I like all the text there. Quite strong on the hourly. Let's come in on the 5 minutes, see how she finished today. That is a beautiful chart. I like the way that is set up. You can see the volume was very strong in the morning and it tore it up. And right here was the 10 o'clock bounce. If you got in and were getting out, not knowing what was going to happen. Now this one was a rare exception. Most stocks take a dip at the 10 o'clock. Even if it's just a dip, they do. This one did not. So if you had gotten out here, you'd have gotten out at 25 and the day opened up at 12. So you'd have made 100% just getting out at 10 o'clock in the morning and forgetting about what is left on the table. Yeah, you lost a little, but come on. You got 100% out of the 125 of the day. Wow. And you may have got more if you decided to ride it because nothing dipped and you took off with it. So the day ended on some very strong power. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it didn't fall. There was just a sneak of a sale after market hours. And this tells me there were still shares wanting to be bought at an increasing price. So this could very well, in the morning, bell go off and this thing start to climb again. And it could do a second surge. And it would die, I would think, by 10 o'clock. But who can tell, right? So you'd watch this for the first minute. See Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? If it goes down, don't give up too quick. It may just be profit takers, and it could bounce right back up on a second surge, and you can catch a lower price than what it even opened up at. But look at it for that first minute. And remember, on an OTC stock, you can't get in on a market order, so you just can't grab this. You're going to have to grab a price higher than what you see. So if you happen to see this fall down to 25, you better jump in at 27 minimally, maybe 28, 028. So that the price comes to you and catches you. If you're too low trying to get the best price, it could just fly right by you and leave you in the dust. And well, you better go find another play. So I like this one for a continuation tomorrow morning. And I think they've got something going on here. Now, I'm not real familiar with waste to energy programs. I know there's a big toxic waste problem in the world, and this could be a solution. I know they use a lot of hydrochloric acid with what they do. It doesn't put off any CO2 or emissions, so there's something very, very special about what they do for a very big problem that the whole world has. This could be more than we can even imagine. But again, please, do your own DD. Check these stocks out. See if what I say is legit. See if it measures up. See if you find even more. So there you go. 2 shell companies about ready to come out of shell and start making money. One working with apps, mobile apps, in all different types of ways. And they haven't cracked the market yet. They're on it. And there's always room for another competitor to take a market share. So keep your eyes on this company, but particularly watch the press releases. The press releases will allow you to get some good bounces. We've seen 400, 100% bounces just off of press releases about what their intentions were. Not that they had actually done anything yet. In the other company, Waste Management must be some big money. $1 billion about ready to be invested into it, into a 2-cent penny stock. This company is working with toxic waste. It's a big problem. Now, they're in Australia, but that doesn't mean they have to stay there, right? This technology is being showcased to the rest of the world. This is a problem we all have. We'd all like to have a solution. So that is definitely one to keep your eye on, and I think that's going to be longer term down the road. We're going to need to see some contracts, need to see some facilities built, but I think this could be something bigger than the metaverse. All right, folks, it's been a pleasure sharing with you, and I hope I've shared something good. Hope you've learned something. Remember, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See you, folks.